I'm in a new movie here in Movies One, and I wanted to show you how this works. And I'm going to go back out. I'm going to show you some more stuff here in a minute. But one thing I wanted to show you is, well, now you're not going to see these that say Real Debris. I'm a Real Debris member, and that's something extra. I'm not going to explain that in this video. I'm going to do that in a different video. Let me show you something, and we're going to come back to this in a second. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. You see there's Korean subs there. Those are hard-coded. There is absolutely nothing I can do about that. Basically what it is that when a movie in other, like in Korea and there's some other countries, that it doesn't either never goes to the theater or it doesn't stay at the theater long because they don't have, it's not something that, it's not like here in the States where people go to a movie months after it's been released. It's a short limited release because it's expensive to release a movie there, so they typically won't even release movies to a theater there that aren't going to be extremely popular. And so what they do is that it goes to Blu-ray there pretty quickly usually. And this is what you see is these Korean subs on there. They're hard-coded because the movie is still in English. Now, some people, they don't care. They just want to see the movie, and I agree. Sometimes if you get really into the movie, those subs will disappear, and it's not a big deal. After a while, you're so engrossed in the movie. And some of them, the subs are further down. This one's up a little bit higher, but some of them, it's closer to the bottom, so it doesn't interfere so much with the movie. But anyway, if you see that on the screen, there's nothing we can do about it. They are what we call hard-coded. They are built into, they're ingrained in the movie. When the movie was made, it's just like if you go see a movie where part of it is in, somebody's not speaking English and they put the subs at the bottom so you can understand it. Same principle. Okay, now when we're looking at this, Movies XK, P Movies, Movies HD, G Video HD. Okay, what does this mean? Well, on the one I've got the gray bar on. Movies HD is the site that it found a link. Let's say that I went to YouTube and found a movie and decided, or a show or a video that I wanted to show to people, so I put it on my site. I link to it on my site. If this add-on was scanning my site and it found the link to the movie, then my site would be listed there. G-Video is where the movie is actually uploaded to. So it'd be like, again, if I went to YouTube, got a link, and I posted it on Facebook or something. The movie is not on Facebook. The link is on Facebook, but the video is actually hosted on YouTube. You don't need to know that first one, Movies XK, P Movies, Movies HD. None of that do you need to know because it doesn't matter. Okay? None of that matters. The only thing that you need to know is the G Video. G Video is great because it always plays right away and it's great. And then behind that, then the last slash is HD, or it says 1080p. That's the quality of the movie. 1080p is 1080p. HD typically means 720p. If it has nothing after it like this, then it means it's DVD quality. Now we're going to click on this one here, the video. The site is actually the video.me. People go the video. We'll start over here. Now I'm a Real Debris member, so it bypasses the typical. Otherwise, normally when you would click on open load or the video, what happens is that it's going to pop up on the screen and ask you to pair it. If you want to watch using that link, then you would go to the website that it tells you on the screen there. Open your computer or your phone, type in the website. It's like openload.com/pair, I think it is, and then there'll be a code on the screen. You will type that code in where it asks you on the screen when you go to the site, and then it gives you 4 hours of watching without having to pair again. It's a pain, and I try not to use those sites if I don't have to. And they do it as a way to force you to visit their site. If you go and you were watching through a web browser on their site, you wouldn't have to do that. Because these sites make their money by advertising. And when you view it through something like this, the media center here, of course, you're not viewing their ads, so they're not making money. So it's a way to force you to, they still get you to view an ad because whenever you go click on that pair. Now, anticipated movies here is movies that are upcoming. Let's go to trending really quick. This add-on will look slightly different. Let's go to Moana. I saw this when we were on our Disney cruise. Pretty good movie. I figured it had The Rock doing the voice, so it might be pretty good, and it was. Turned out to be a pretty good movie. I mean, how can you go wrong? You're on a cruise, and the movie's free, so... excuse me. Okay, just give it a second. Now, if you get some scraper timeouts or something like that, don't worry about it. You're always going to have something timeout. Ignore all these in green because you won't have them. You would start down here. Okay, now the way that this one works is the first brackets, same thing as the other one. That's the site that it found the link on. HD 720 is the how the quality of the video, and then in this one, the last one is where the site is. GVideo, Google User Content, Watchers, so forth, NOS Locker. And then, of course, high is somewhere in between DVD quality and HD. And then medium is about DVD quality, and then low is crappy quality. It's like watching a 240p video on YouTube. Okay? Now, the one thing we need to look at here, I'm going to get out of this one. I want you to come over here to Movies Men. And, sorry this video is running a little bit long, but okay. Like I said, there's a video if you want to know about what Real Debris is. You can check that out. I'll post a link down below, and then this is the shortcut to the site. So if you wanted to sign up, you can. This is an add-on that I keep up. I try to anyway. So you can see I added those movies to future movies the other day, and then these movies to the new series. So these are playlists, like everything here, 2015, 2016 HD movies. I post every movie I post, if I can find it, will always be in Dolby Digital 5.1 because I have a surround sound system. I want to take advantage of it. One thing in Star Wars that I have is I have the despecialized versions, which are the original theatrical versions before all the different things that George Lucas has, the 50,000 changes he has made since the 97 releases. And then I have the partially despecialized editions, which are somebody went in and they kept what they thought made the movie better because of limited technology, like where there were places where they could fill in gaps or things to make it changes that were beneficial to the movie, but then left out all the other changes that made it worse. Action films, comedy, MGM musicals, everything in here has to do with time. These are all time travel movies. And I've got more that I need to post. Futuristic movies, superhero movies, 80s movies, movies that changed the 70s, the complete James Bond, disaster and disease movies. My wife thinks I'm weird that I like disaster movies. And then these are sets. So like here's all the Turtles, here's the complete Star Trek, Harry Potter collection, Narnia collection, the Elvis. Um, I also put Elvis on the front screen, and then I have 70s and 80s TV shows. The nice thing is, if you find like here's the A Team, Airwolf, Automan. Automan, you're not going to find anywhere but here, the complete series, because I looked for it everywhere, and it didn't show up in any of the add-ons. The Highwayman was a limited uh, series that ran in the 80s. Hardcastle McCormick. Some of this stuff is exclusive to here. Nobody else has it. Then you get stuff like the Love Boat that it ran for 10 seasons, but so far I've only gotten 4 seasons posted because I'm still trying to hunt down the rest. And then I've got 60s TV series, live action Disney, 3D movies, classic movies, retro cartoons, and then I have Christmas. If you want a Christmas movie, I probably have it in my section there. Now, if you click on Movies for Men, this guy here has men's magazines, explicit content. You know, you can see he's got about everything you could think of. Now, let me show you how some of these work really quick. Now, go here and I'll pick a show. My TV shows work the same. Let's say animated stories from the Bible. So, creation. It's going to come up and it's going to just play. Okay, now some of them, like, let's go to St. Elsewhere. Link 1, link 2. I click on link 1. It is a search, is basically what it's doing. It's going to go out. It's got several different sites it pulls from. And it's going to go out, and the first stream that it comes across that will play, it plays. And so it sometimes can be really quick and may play in a couple of seconds. Other times it can take 30 seconds or so for the movie to, or the TV show to start playing. But the cool thing is that you've got this whole, set of series all together for you. Look, let me go back. Now, if you come in here and like classic horror, these are, I don't necessarily consider them horror because these are, by what I would call horror today, nothing, same thing. Link 1, Link 2. But he's got all the Universal monsters from back in the day. And you can just keep going. But basically, these are all playlists. So if you scroll through, like here's National Lampoon movies. And again, if you come in here, once it pulls up the movie list, sometimes it can take, if the server's running slow, it can take a minute. So if I click on Class Reunion, I may have 3 links to choose from. Usually just try link 1 would be fine, unless you've already tried link 1 and for some reason it didn't play. So again, you can just see he's just got football movies, sports movies, war films, disasters, biker movies, all kinds of stuff. That's why it's called Movies for Men. Scariest movies of all time. And then if you come over to the classic section, now there's a few things at the moment that aren't working. Yeah, I've got to fix those. But in this next update, by the time you watch this movie, it should work. But anyway, all this stuff here is things to do with old classic movies. And I got some more to post. So if you're into that sort of thing and you like that, then you'll enjoy it. Now, Miracle Box, if you see it at the top, people ask me. I was partnered with a company called Miracle Box, and then they decided that they wanted to go a completely different route, and I thought it made it harder for people to use, and we just had a disagreement on terms, so they decided, but I haven't changed the RSS feed to our new feed. But once I get this next update done, all you'll have to do is look at that RSS feed when you start up your box. And it will let you know. I'll put whenever I have a new update done, it will say, like 12/21 new update today and stuff like that. The Christmas one here will be gone on the new update because the Christmas movies, But if you like to watch, if you're like me and you like to watch Christmas in July, you can just come over here to More Power and go all the way to the bottom and you'll see Christmas movies there, okay? But you can scroll through there and see TV shows work the same. If you want to know, if you want to set up the TV calendar, go to that link bit.to/mycalendar and you can watch the setup there, okay? It does not matter which one you want to choose. You can go source 1, source 2, whatever works for you. Everybody has their preference. And you'll see these movies up here. This is new shows. Or it's going to be what is airing today when I do this next update. Here you've got the top one is action and the bottom one is sci-fi. So if you're wanting to scroll through, you can see the latest sci-fi movies or what's popular in sci-fi. But anyway, that should give you a thing. And I'll have there's a kids section here. It says go to kids, but it got completely messed up, so I'm completely redoing it. But pretty soon I'll have a whole kids section too. Kids section, for those that have kids or those that are just big kids themselves. You shouldn't need to mess with anything in here. We're going to be adding some TV, a few basic channels, just some network channels and stuff. So at least you can watch, national news, or you can see, like the people were asking for the ball drop on New Year's and things like that. So, and then we have a paid TV option that will show up later that we can offer you as well. The TubTub and the C Cloud, they don't work well, so we're getting rid of them in this next update, so you won't see them there, okay? I think that's it. If you have any other questions, again, don't let stuff... I've had people say, well, I tried to watch a movie and it sat there and buffered for like 30 minutes. If it buffers for more than a minute and it is not, like if it says buffering and it's not counting up fairly quickly, at least a percentage every couple of seconds, get out of it and try a different link. Like I said, G-Video won't buffer, but sometimes there are some things you may not find a G-Video link on. So if you can't find a G-Video link, then just try a link. If it doesn't buffer, great. If it does buffer, some stuff may buffer, and it has absolutely nothing to do with your internet speed. A movie buffering is because the site so let's say I clicked on one of these. The site, such as OpenLoad or something like that, may be overloaded with people, or maybe they're working on that particular server. There's a host of reasons why things may not always work perfectly every time for you. Because I've had people say, well, gosh, I use... again, I have Real Debris, so I got to pass these up here. But you can see as a Real Debris member, you get a whole lot more movies to choose from. Torba, that's horrible. Buffers all the time. It just sucks. Let's say that I went to VidToo, and you said, well, gosh, I used VidToo yesterday, and the movie played fine. Why is it buffering today? Could be that this particular server that movie was uploaded to, maybe they're working on that particular server or something. You just never know. But again, if it has a G-Video, G-Video will be your best work. Typically, the stuff that's in the men's movie and in my section and More Power, we've gone to great lengths to try and pick servers that usually are not widely used in other places, so they typically don't get overloaded. But again, now if you are on Wi-Fi, of course, make sure that you are using either AC Wi-Fi or you're at least using the 5 gigahertz band of your on the box, and not because the 2.4 gigahertz band has a max speed of about 40 megabytes, which is still plenty fast. But if you have anything else going on in the house or anything, it doesn't take a lot to slow it down. If you can be hardwired at all, it is always best. It just seems to cause less problems. You find a lot of things that you just won't have trouble with, but I understand that you can't always be hardwired. There is another option for hardwire, and it's called a power line adapter. And if you want to be hardwired, but you can't because maybe your router and TV aren't in the same room or anything, I will give you a link to a power line adapter on Amazon that I know works really well. You can always, and the good thing about Amazon is you can try it, and if it doesn't work for you, you can always send it back and you're not out any money. But they're like $30 for one that I know works really well. And but you can also adjust your antenna, and make sure, because these boxes are really good. They've gotten good. A couple of years ago, it didn't take anything. I mean, you had to fine tune the antenna, but they've gotten a lot better. But still, if you're just having, and it seems like you're just having all kinds of issues, you might try and go hardwired just to see if that solves it. Because again, people say, well, I tried on my laptop and I got a great signal. Yeah, your laptop also has usually at least two antennas in it, and they run up the side of the screen, so they're long. You're talking, antenna that's 6-8 inches long. The box, your antenna is an inch long, maybe, or two. And typically your box is not out in the open. It's setting it on a shelf or something. So just options to check. Now, I don't have any problems with Wi-Fi usually. Another tip. Make it a weekly habit to unplug your modem and your router for about a minute or so from power. It doesn't matter. Some people say, hey, I unplug it when I go to bed one night, and when I get up the next morning to plug it in. That's fine if that's what you want to do, but just unplug it for about a minute, and then plug your router back in, or I'm sorry, your